Now let's get into project organization before our review session, and we can do this via tagging, and this can be done throughout the entire project and can be handy for review. So what I'm going to do is just right click over here and open up our tags window, and from here we'll see out of the box we have quite a few tags that we can be using. So some nice ones like apps, we have markers that are quite useful, and a status. And status is especially useful because what you can do is you can have this attached to your asset manager, so it's in line with it, meaning that we can have our finals linked up with our finals in progress, etc. So some very handy things that you can find with the tags. You can even create your own custom ones. So now how tagging works is we can be applying them by right clicking on the clip, but we can also just be dragging and dropping. Let me turn on my comp layer here for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop directly onto a clip. So when we add it to a clip, we can select the tag itself, and then from here we have some input fields, so we can be adding notes directly onto the tag itself. We can also be injecting custom metadata directly into the clip. Here we have our key and our value. We can be changing the tag types and then switching through multiple tags and adding different notes. Because these clip containers can have multiple tags, I can add another one in here. We can keep on stacking these tags up. So we can be applying them by dragging and dropping, but we can also be going into the viewer. So if we were to go ahead and select the tag, and we can tag the whole sequence, we can tag a particular frame, and then if I just jump over here, I'll tag another frame. And this is also very helpful for review, because what we can do is we can be isolating key frames, and then from there we can go and hit Alt Shift and then the arrow keys left and right, and we can be jumping through these tags directly into our timeline. We can also be tagging by the track item, which is under our playhead, and we can also tag a clip. Now another powerful thing we can do with tags is filter by the tag type. And this is great if we're prepping for the review session and say some shots are blocked because they're awaiting approval. Well, we can filter these shots. So I'm just going to jump over to my review workspace. So from here I'm going to open up the project tab. Now we can see that we have shots that have multiple tags on them. Well, we can just go in and filter by a particular tag type if we want. And if I jump over to my tags, what I'll do is go under the status, and then I only want to isolate the shots that are awaiting approval. So what I can do is grab the awaiting approval tag and then drop it directly into the search bar into our project window, and then just like that we have all the shots isolated. Now from here we could go in and we can double click, and then we can view these shots individually if we want to view them this way. What we could also do is create a new sequence from them, and then we have them isolated onto a sequence. Now this is a nice way to view them because we can be comparing shots for continuity. I can drag and drop one into the buffer, and then let's grab another one over here and then place it into our B buffer. And now I can do a direct comparison for continuity. If there's multiple versions, I can just hit the V key, and then I'll have access to that new other version that's in there as well. So now toggling versions with the V key, I'm looking at what is in the A buffer this way. If I want to toggle the version of what's going on in the B buffer, all I need to do is activate the info bar and then switch to the B. And then when I hit V now, I'm looking for the versions in the B buffer. Now, not only can we use tags to search inside of our project window, but we can also use this in our spreadsheet. So let's just jump over to the conform layout for a second. Now from here we have access to our spreadsheet very quickly. I'll pull it out just a little bit. And now I want to just filter some shots, and we have a search bar in here that accepts text, but we can also drag tags in there. So I want to go and grab the awaiting approval tag and place it in. And we can even put multiple tags in here. So I also have some shots that are blocked. I'm going to drag it and drop it in there. We have multiple tags now that we're searching for, and then they all show up. The nice thing about this is that we can quickly get to these shots rather than having to navigate through them in the timeline, because that can be difficult if they're spread out. All I need to do is hold down Alt and then select the shot, and then it'll show up directly inside of our viewer. So really a great way to isolate shots by utilizing this filtering of the tags, making sure we're adding notes in those tags, and then using the spreadsheet to navigate through. So tagging becomes a very important part for project organization, injecting custom metadata, and project progression.